Hi everyone, what is going on? My name is Jamie Palmer and welcome to another episode with the Buy and Destroyer 7.0. So today I have Mark on a live chat. Now, if you don't know, me and Mark did a 100% win ratio in April, and the reason why we did it is we just really wanted to show people what's possible. You know, if you put your mind to it, that kind of everything's achievable. So I've got Mark here on a video chat, and we just wanted to explain the reasons why we did it, how we did it, and kind of a bit of advice and pointers for anyone else there looking to do it. Now, I'll quickly just read you Mark's post, which he put. When did you post this? Yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. And it says, okay, time has come to see the results of the challenge between myself and Jamie to see who can hit 100% in a month. This is something I'm not going to try and do again. It's very hard as you have to spend a lot of time picking the very best trades to take letting to go setups as they might lose. I did about 100 less trades this month from March and 100 grand less profit. As you can see, I hit a 96% win ratio in March and had less time on the charts. Took some losses, but I made some money, so hitting 100%. And then you go on to say about money management is key. So just for everyone to see, there you go. He did a 100% in April with 110 winning trades. And then obviously in March as well, you did 258 with a 96% win ratio in March. And just for everyone to see, this is mine. Obviously, I took a lot less trades. The reason being is basically I've just been fully booked to one-on-one webinars and it's just been crazy for me. I did 43 winning trades, a 100% win ratio in April. And March, I did an 85% win ratio with 248 winning trades. Now, it's both interesting, right? And you said the same as well, that we...
Hello, rabbit.
You got a rabbit? Oh, mine's fast asleep under my bed.
Yeah, he's sitting on my lap.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, but we both agreed on this. We both agreed on the same thing, that I think it's important to have losses in trading because it just takes the pressure away. I did, as you can see here, I do a lot more trades and I make a lot more money by having losses than I do wins. Just 100%. And
yeah, well, I don't go out of my way to lose, but I don't want to be. It was very stressful to try and do 100% because I let so many trades go that I normally would have taken, which ended up winning, but I was cherry picking them to like 100%. So I knew I was going to get 100%. And it was very stressful, and I don't really want to try and do that again. I'd rather do what I was doing before. It's, you know, I think the moral of all what we've tried to do is, it's all great to say, yeah, I've done 100%, and doing 43 in a row or 100 in a row like we've done. Yeah, I've had a lot of people say, well done, you're a super trader, blah, blah, blah. But if you try to do that every month, I tell you, the stress would kill you.
Oh, yeah, I found that. Between the last week of March, the last week of April, I was actually having kind of nervous when I was placing a trade because I'm like, I'm 100% now. I don't want to lose a trade. I just can't afford to lose a trade. And the pressure and the stress, I was like, I found myself, sometimes, you know, most of the time I let my trades go 5 pips, sometimes 10 pips. But I was like, I found myself sometimes closing trades early just because I wanted to keep my 100%. And I think if I had losses, I'd let the trades go, hit my target, hit my 5 or 10 pips, and I'd make more money in the long run. And I think people sometimes need to understand that having losses is not a bad thing in trading. It's like everybody wants 100% win ratios, but I think if you go out there to try and get it, you find yourself leaving a lot of trades on the table or closing trades early when you shouldn't do, and some people do that. But we both agreed the reason why we wanted to do it was just, I wanted to show people what was interesting, right? If you go on my Facebook page, right, look at this. I made a post 2 days ago And this was my first ever binary account, my live ever binary account in 2016. And I was like, I remember this, I put £500 in, and I was like, you know, in 2016, right? And then just wind the clocks forward, what's that, 5 years later, 16, yeah, 5 years later, I'm doing 100% in Forex, you know, and that's the level of dedication you need to be successful in trading, you know. And you know, doing 100% just doesn't happen in the first 6 months of trading. It just doesn't happen. It takes a lot of patience and discipline to do it. So what's your advice on it?
Well, like I've said this over and over again, and to a lot of different people, and I did a quick video this afternoon about, because people wanted to know how I go about my money management, and I look at trading now as my business, like no different than the guy at the corner store or the mega company that owns a hardware chain or anything like that.
Yeah.
My losses are just my expenses, whatever the expenses are for a business. So my money management is basically, if I'm sitting in front of the charts and I haven't got anything else to do and I'm trading, then I have what I call a mental stop loss, which is set at 20 pips, and I will close the trade at 20 pips. But I don't often get anywhere near 20 pips. But I'm religious in just going at 5 pips and taking my 5 pips and moving to the next trade. If I'm really sure that the trade's going to be any good, I'll have one trade at 5 pips and I'll have another one that I'll use as a trailing stop. But I also will, most of the times with the second one, if it gets past 10 pips or 15 pips, I'll take it out. Because I'm a scalper and I'm not anything else. I don't pretend to be anything else. It's what I know, because basically I'm a binary trader, so to me scalping is the same as binary. So I was very honest with the 100% thing. The closest I came was 17 pips, and then it turned around and went back. So
yeah, carry on.
If I have to go out, let's just say, for instance, I've got to pick one of my kids up from work, or I've got to do something, and I set a trade, then I set a stop loss at 20 pips and take profit at 5, and then I'll go out.
Yeah.
So that's how I work.
I'm the same, because obviously you and me both mastered binary, which I think is good, because a lot of people, when I first set up the binary destroyer, was like, you can't make money in binary, it's impossible, it's gambling. And I was like, okay, I'll prove you wrong. Here's my trading results, here's my withdrawals, everything like that. And then people were like, okay, you can. And then we were like, yeah, you can do 100% in Forex. And people were like, no, you can't do that, you can't do that. I'm like, we've gone out and done it. And your style of trading is exactly like mine, kind of scalping, fast pace, in and out. And because we're used to high win ratios in binary, we're the same with Forex. You know, we're not gonna, for us, it's about in and out scalping. And what I do is pretty much the same as you. So I will trade the Mogwai strategy, and I'll have my fixed either 5 or 10 pips take profit. I don't necessarily set a stop loss, I set a mental stop loss. So I think, okay, if price goes to this line, I mean, I'll give an example here, right? Let's just have a look at this trade here. Let me just wind it back.
The only major difference, Jamie, is you trade 5 minutes, I trade 15.
Yeah. That's the only difference. I think our style of trading is the same. It's just you have the higher time frames, pretty much. So to give an example here, right? Let's say I take this trade here, and I like this trade. Okay, we've got a nice bit of resistance at the top here, right? That's key.
I just got to take a phone call. It's my daughter. 2 secs.
Yeah, all right. I'll just carry on with this. So we've got a nice bit of resistance area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, resistance. Another little resistance. MACD's gone over sold. We've got a Mogwai arrow. What I do is I'll just set a fixed... Well, in fact, what I do is I look to see where my stop loss is. So to give you an example here, my stop loss is going to be 10 pips. So my take profit is going to be 10 pips, like this, 10 pips. Now, I'm not actually going to set I'm not actually going to set a stop loss, but what I will do is I will set a mental stop loss and think, okay, if price goes to this level now, I will close this trade off in a loss. Now, the reason why I do this is purely because with scalping, sometimes you can get took out by liquidity spike. So literally price can spike, take your stop loss out, and then reverse, and would have hit your take profit, but it didn't because it stopped you out. So to compensate that, I will set a mental stop loss like this. As the trade, obviously I've set this take profit as 5 pips. And do I get 5 pips out of this trade? Yeah, okay. And that's pretty much what I do. Look for support and resistance like this. Mogwai. So what I'll do is, again, I'll pause the video, wait for Mark to come back, and he can explain his style of trading as well. So I've got Mark back, and I was just basically explaining how I take that trade. So I've got like a mental stop loss here. And what's interesting is, look at this, right? You see how price actually pretty much nearly touched my stop loss. Now, if I actually physically set a stop loss there, that would probably stop me out, right? But what I've done is I've mentally set a stop loss. Price didn't actually go higher than my stop loss, and then price goes down and hit my 5 pips.
And guys, well, if you're going to set a mental stop, you have to actually keep to the mental stop.
Yeah.
Not go, well, if your mental stop's 20 pips and it goes 25, so I'll let it go to 30. You got to be disciplined enough to close the trade.
Yeah, I've found that.
Set stop losses.
I've taught, right, you know, I do these one-on-one webinars. I've taught a lot of individual traders, and I've kind of got to know everyone's style of trading. And the biggest thing that I find is people can't handle closing losses, and people can't just handle discipline and patience when it comes to trading. And this is what I was trying to explain, right? Imagine you take 10 Mogwai signals, you're going to be okay. Imagine taking 1,000 Mogwai signals, you're going to be really, really good. And the only way you're going to get really, really good at trading is not by watching training videos, not by taking online courses, is actually by physically watching the charts. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I've got to a point now with the thebinarydestroyer and the Mogwai strategy that I can just pick off the winning trades.
No, I agree. And I've had a few people who have contacted me about, what is it called, the FTMO or
FTMO challenge, yeah.
Well, a few people have blown their accounts with that because they're freaking out about the size of the accounts and things like that. That, you know, and they're letting numbers mess with their heads. Well, if to me losing $1 or losing 100 or losing 100,000, it's a number. It's the same principle. So if you're not prepared to sort of start dealing with big numbers, then you're mentally not ready to even start trading with small numbers. Because to me, it's a process, it's a mechanical process that you shouldn't even have any emotion with.
Yeah.
So having a win or having a loss, there shouldn't be any emotion. If you had a trade, for instance, and you made, I don't know, $20,000 with it, yeah, you've got to be happy, but you shouldn't be like jumping around, punching the air, or you know, thinking, oh, fantastic, and blah blah. You've got to stay emotionless, because this is your business, and business you shouldn't get emotional in business. Sports for emotion. Your footy team wins or something, good on you, whatever. But you're here to make money, to support your family, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I want a Mog Arrow, I want a MACD Cross, I want the fast moving average, blah blah blah. I want to see this, I want to see that. Trade done. Trade didn't work this time, move to the next
Yeah.
trade. Trade wins, fantastic, move to the next trade. That's how I do it. And when people, and I think this is one of the reasons why people think that I'm talking crap and I must be demo trading, because they see me make $100,000 a week or $60,000 a week or $400,000 a month or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't care. How can he be making this? It can't be real money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I got to a point, and as you remember back when we used to do binary, I would be stacking 15 trades on one thing and rinsing the hell out of one trade and making as much as I could in one trade.
Yeah.
But the brokers wouldn't pay me the money. You would have no idea how much money I've left in binary brokers.
Oh yeah, I'm the same.
And the thing that I keep saying to people, and I was talking to Robert the other day, I can't remember his last name, the dude who put the candlestick videos in your thing.
Yeah.
And one or two other Australians here, they're better traders than I am, Jamie. There's a lot of traders out there in this group, I think, who understand the charts better than me, who trade better than me, but the one thing I have over them is I don't get emotional about what I do.
No.
And emotion is going to kill 90% of the people, even if they know what they're doing.
This is what I do, right, to get, when people say, oh, how to get, this is what I would say to people, right, is when it comes to trading, you've got to do it a step-by-step process. So to give you an example here, step one, let's say we're trading the Mogwai strategy, yeah? Right, I literally go like this. I say, if you do this, it's going to help with your emotions. But the only way it's going to work is if you actually follow it. So for step one, we're going to be look for trades. So step one's going to be look for trades, whatever that is. For me, it's going to be MACD overbought or sold, like this, Mogwai arrow, support resistance. So once I've gone, okay, I found a trade that I like, step one is done. Step two is going to be look at the setup. Is it a good setup? Is it not? You know, go back to setup. What do I like about it? Well, I've got these wicks on top. See the wicks? This great. Okay, so you can see that price is rejecting from this level. We're just closed below that TCA line, which is good. I like that. So once I'm happy with that, I go to step three, which would be, when do I enter? Where's my stop loss? Where's my take profit? So I've decided I'm going to take a trade here. Where's my stop loss? I'll put it here. So let's say I'll have a mental stop loss of 8 pips. My take profit is going to be 8 pips, like that. If price goes higher, like this is exactly how I trade, like this. So there's my mental stop loss. There's me take profit down here at 8 pips. There we go. Literally in one candlestick like that. That is it. If the trade wins, it wins. If it loses, it loses. I move on. I go exactly back to step one, which is look for setups. Then step two, step three, and everything like that. And I think once you start getting into that rhythm, everything comes to be close. You can't just take trades because arrows appears. You can't just take trades because you want to gamble.
And what you just did is pretty much what I'm trying to get through to other people, because you're almost doing like a robotic thing with no emotion in it.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that emotion is what kills most of the people. They're too afraid to take a trade. They're too afraid to let a trade run. They're too afraid to have a loss.
Yeah.
And so on and so on and so on, you know. Like, I mean, all you have to do is right now, and I've said this to a few people, go back, you know, a year ago with all the problems with COVID, right, and businesses going belly up because of the circumstances that they're in right now. But there, you know, some businesses went belly up, but there were still a lot of people who believed in their business, or as we would say, we believe in our system.
Yeah, yeah.
Trade. So they reinvest money to keep their business going. Now, what I would say to them, you have to pick a way of trading, whether it's binary destroyer or not, or any of the systems that you've got. You've got to stop moving around from system to system. Figure something out. Work out what kind of trade you are. Are you a trend trader, swing trader, a day trader, whatever you are?
Yeah.
Get comfortable with it, and like what you said with the MOG, and you've now decided you're a MOG trader with support resistance, and you just nail it. You get it to a point where it's no different than breathing.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You see it, you implement it, and you win it or you lose it, and either way you move on to the next one when it's over.
Yeah.
And I see people in our group go round and round and round and round in circles for year after year after year.
Yeah.
And they'll know who I'm talking about, and they see something new and they want to try
Oh
that,
yeah.
and they do that for a couple of weeks, and then they throw that out the door. Guys, please listen to me. The only way you're going to get anywhere in trading, and I don't care what it is that you trade, you can do Elliott waves, you can do, I don't care, candlestick patterns, the MOG, the pullback, the
Yeah.
BD, pick whatever it is you want and just forget everything else.
Yeah, it's funny because what I hate in trading is when people go, I tried it, didn't work for me. A strategy doesn't pick and choose who it likes, right? The market doesn't pick and choose who it likes. Every strategy is going to work for everybody. Just because it works for me doesn't mean, it's not going to work for you. Every strategy is going to work for everyone. Yes, it might be a bit harder to learn. I might find it easier than you. But if you put the hard work in and you put the dedication in and discipline, you'll be able to master it too, right? You can't just say, well, it didn't work for me. It probably didn't work for you because you didn't actually follow the strategy. And too many people, they try something, a week later, they give up. They try something else. I'm like,
I mean, all you have to do is talk to anyone that's successful. You can talk to anyone just in our group, the two Michaels, anybody else that's making money in the group, and they'll tell you the same thing. They did the same thing as we did, ran around in circles until they figured out that whatever system that they're doing, and they're making money consistently because they've learnt it, they've mastered it, they believe in what they're doing, so losses don't bother them because they know their system works.
Yeah.
So the emotion is kept in check, so that is taken out of it. So when they have a loss, it's not, well, I've got to find something else because I've got to be doing 100%.
Yeah.
Like I've seen videos you've done and other people you can do 10 trades and win 4 and still make money.
Oh yeah. I mean, 100%, 100%. Yeah.
People have got to stop being so fixated. And I know that what we did was a bit of fun and just to prove that we could do it. And I really wanted to see if I could do it. But the whole point is I don't intend to try and do it again. I'm going back to what I was doing.
Having
before.
losses.
Yeah. I don't mind having losses. I mean, obviously I don't want them, but I'm not concerned about them because the majority of times I'm going to win. So I can deal with my expenses, as I call them,
Yeah,
I'm
the same.
I don't get so worried about having one loss because if you keep your loss to a manageable level, which is what money management's about,
Yeah.
and you don't let it go to 60, 80, 200 pips and then call me up or you up or whoever up and say, Mark, my account's in drawdown 50%, what can I do?
Yeah.
I just go, well, how did you let your account get like that? Well, I don't have a stop loss because I don't want to lose.
Yeah,
now you're about to lose your whole account.
Yeah, and people don't understand that concept. They just don't. It's like, and this is what I try and explain to people. If you do a step by step, you step 1, you've done that. Step 2, you've done that. Step 3 is where's my stop loss and take profit. You just can't trade without a stop loss because, let's say you build a count up from 1,000 to 100,000 to £1 million. Are you going to risk £1 million, with no stop loss? No, you're not. You want to put a stop loss. So learn now with a small account, and then when you start making money, everything just becomes a lot more easier and simpler. You can't go, well, I'm not going to use a stop loss, but when I start making money, I will use a stop loss. It's like, no, do it all now. And then
I seriously almost feel like purposely losing 6 or 7 trades and then show with 3 trades that I can still make profit.
Yeah.
I probably won't do it because I don't really want to throw my money away, but I almost feel like just...
Well, next month I might actually do, this would be interesting, I'm going to do more losses than wins and show people, said, look, last month I made 100%. This month I've got more losses than wins and I've still made money. So with 100%... Carry on.
To be honest, honestly, I think that might be a better lesson for people than showing 100%. Because if I can show... I mean, what I might do is I might actually just do this on a demo account because I don't want to.
Yeah.
Don't really want to do. But what I might do is just show a 40% or even 35% win ratio for the month,
Yeah.
and then show me a profit, and that should hopefully make people understand
Well,
that
yeah.
it's about money management.
Imagine this, right? So
You know?
I made £100,000 with 100% win ratio. I made £100,000 with a 40% win ratio.
Yeah.
The same profit, but different situations. The point is it's about managing your trades, your stop losses, take profits, everything like that.
Yeah.
And once you understand that, it's like you can have a 90% win ratio, 40% win ratio, 100%. It doesn't matter. The win ratio doesn't matter at all. It's just about how you manage those trades.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, right, listen, Mark, I've got to go because I've got to nip out.
That's all right. Well, I hope everyone got something out of that. And,
Yeah.
you know, all I can say is that the most important thing, in my opinion, with trading is your plan of attack. Like Jamie just showed you what he does for the mob. And I just suggest to everybody, figure out what kind of trader you are. Set your rules, or whatever rules it is that you want that make you comfortable. Learn it, back test it, just make it second nature.
Yeah.
And if you have a loss, just move to the next trade. That's all I can say.
Yeah. All right, mate. Appreciate that, Mark.
See you guys.
Take care. Bye.